Welcome to GeorgeWay mathTV.
So I'm asked to simplify this right here. How am I going to simplify this? Well, I learned that I always have to start with the numbers in front. So looking at these two numbers, how would I simplify that? Well, when I'm simplifying, I always start with 2. So, like, I'm going to see if 2 can divide into these two at the same time. So 20 divided by 2 and then 28 divided by 2. 20 divided by 2 is what? That is 10. 28 divided by 2 is 14. Oh, so 2 work for both. And now keep going. 10 divided by 2 and 14 divided by 2. Let me see if it's going to work at the same time. 10 divided by 2 is 5. 14 divided by 2 is 7. Oh, so that means, 2 was good. Can I simplify these two? 2 cannot go into that. 3 cannot go into that. 4 cannot go into that. 5 can go here, but 5 cannot go into 7. So that means I cannot simplify this anymore. So it will stay as 5 and 7. So now this is what I have. The 20 is now 5. The 28 is now simplified to 7. So now that I've simplified the numbers, I'm going to move to the variables. I see y here at the top, but there's only one y at the top, but there's another y at the bottom. And anytime I have the same variable at the top and bottom, the rule is I can subtract the powers. So I'm going to do 4 minus 5. And 4 minus 5 is negative 1. And anytime I subtract and I get a negative number, I have to move it to the bottom to become a positive. And this is what I just mean by that. So I'm going to have my y and it become a positive 1. If it was 5 minus 4 and was a positive 1, I will have y and then 1 at the top. But because it's a negative, that's why I move it to the bottom to become a positive, because I only can have positive powers. Okay, so that was for the y's. Now for the z's, I see z at the top, z at the bottom. Again, when I see that, I have to subtract the powers. So 3 minus 3, oh, that's 0. So I have z to the 0 power, but z to the 0 power is just 1. So that means I don't need that. So that just cancels out. So now I just have this left. And I can't simplify no more. But anytime I have to the power 1, I can choose not to bring it. So that means my answer is just that. And that's it. Alright, let me see if I really got this right here. Okay. So this one also, I have to simplify the numbers in front. So 42 divided by 2 and then 7 divided by 2. 42 divided by 2 is 21. 7 divided by 2, oh, I cannot divide by 2. 42 divided by 3, 7 divided by 3 is not going to work. 42 divided by 4, 7 divided by 4, 7 divided by... But 42 divided by 7, and then 7 divided by 7, let's try that. 42 divided by 7 is 6. 7 divided by 7 is 1. So 7 is going to work. So that means now, instead of 42, I have 6. Instead of 7, I have 1. So I'm done with the numbers in front. Now with the variables, I see x at the top and x at the bottom. So that means I can simplify that. But this x has no power. But whenever I see something like that, there's always a 1 right here. And I know I have to subtract the powers, right? So I'm doing 2 minus 1. And 2 minus 1 is 1. Anytime I subtract and I get a positive, it's going to stay at the top. So I'll have x. And 2 minus 1 was positive 1. So I have my positive 1 right there. But anytime I have a power 1, I can choose not to bring it. So let me just take out the 1. So I'm done with the x. Now with the y. I have y at the top, y at the bottom. I can subtract the powers. 5 minus 4. 5 minus 4 is 1. Again, I had a positive 1. So it will stay at the top. I have y to the positive 1. And again, if I have a power 1, I can choose not to bring it. So now I have 6xy over 1. And anything over 1 is that same thing. So that means this right here is 6xy. And that's it. What about that one? So this one too, when I'm doing this, I always do the numbers in front. And I start with 2. So 32 divided by 2 and 56 divided by 2. So let's see, 32 divided by 2 is 16. And then 56 divided by 2, that is 28. Let me see if I can still divide by 2. 16 divided by 2 and 28 divided by 2. 16 divided by 2 is 8. And then 28 divided by 2 is 14. Let me see if I can still go. 8 divided by 2 and 14 divided by 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4. 14 divided by 2 is 7. Can I still keep going? Nope. So that 4 and 7 will be my new numbers right here. So instead of 32, it was simplified to 4. Instead of 56, it's 7. And again, if you have any other way you can simplify it, the whole thing is you want to be able to simplify that. But that's how I do it, and it always works. But sometimes you'll be allowed to use a calculator, and you can just put it in, and we just simplify that for you also. But this is a great way to simplify. So again, we've simplified the numbers in front. Now, I'm gonna have to move to the variables. And x to the 5th, and I have x to the 1, so I have to be able to subtract powers. So I got 5 minus 1, which is 4. So because I have a positive 4, it will stay at the top as x to the positive 4. And with the y's, I have 4 minus 4, which is 0. So basically these two are the same, so that will just cancel out. So now I have 4x4 over 7. And there's nothing else I can do. So that would just be my answer.
Please don't forget to subscribe, tap the bell to be notified for new videos, and share.